Hello, everyone. Welcome to Day Sprints. I know it's very random on a Tuesday. We're doing this for ERAS Readathon, hosted by Margaret over at the Word Nerd. She'll be on shortly. She said she might be running late, so we can anticipate her showing up. But for now, you just have to enjoy me and Rainy for entertainment. If you aren't participating in ERAS Readathon, don't worry about it. That's okay. You can still use this time for productivity or reading sprints. My intention is for having us to go up until Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading for her sprint miss. She starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's in 4 hours from now. And so we're just going to be going up until then, and then everyone can just go over to Brittany's channel and do that. But Rainy, how are you doing today? I know you have a big project that you're continuing to work on. How's it going?
I'm fine. I'm so ready to read something other than romance. I've been reading that for forever. If people don't know, I'm trying to read the top 10 romance for Goodreads. However, I didn't set myself up well. I had not kept up with any of it. So like so many of them, like one was on book 3. A bunch were on book 2, and I just haven't read them, and I cannot skip them, even if they're companion novels. So I read all the first books or second books, and now I'm finally at the last 5. Well, after I finish King of Wrath, but I'm 75% into this, and I'm absolutely loving this, so I'll finish this. But I still have to read Things We Hide from the Light, which is insanely long. Final Offer, which is also 600 pages. The Right Move, which is 500 pages. I'm like King of Pride, which is 400 pages, and then Wildfire, which I think is like 400 pages or something. Anyway, I have like 2,000 pages to read, basically.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that this year so many romances on the Goodreads choice list are so chunky for romance.
So chunky. Oh my! Like, why is this 600 pages? Why? I don't.
Yeah. You were so glad you didn't have to do pucking around, and they're like, "Well, you still have to do these others, though."
Well, because it's 100 pages more. I don't know. I mean, but at least I'm enjoying most of them. But yeah, I'm
Feeling burned out.
yeah, I'm just done. I want to read other stuff, but I also need to finish by the 23rd because I don't want. Well, I mean, no. I was gonna do that. I don't know. I was gonna make it be my last day of Bookmas because I'm doing the 12 days of Bookmas. But then I also realized, like, oh, I need to actually start like my most disappointing, my most surprising, and all that.
Yeah.
Very true. I was gonna wait till January this year, and they were like, "Yes, but most people are not gonna watch it by then because you'll have seen so many of those. Like this to post it," and I was like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, I know. That's why I did my best of earlier than I think I planned. But I was like, you know what? If I am surprised and read this amazing book, I can always add it next year, being like, hey, I read this in the last week of December. We're just going to count for 2024.
That's why I'm doing best of until after Christmas until after I finish all these because like there's some that I really think this could be in the top, and so I don't want to like say that early. But best and worst I'll save till like the week after Christmas. But I figured I'd do disappointing and surprising before.
Yeah, no, that's smart. And also, if no one knows, Rainey did a very fun book tag of part of one of her great videos for end of year wrap ups. If some people are looking for ideas or they're just interested, go show her some support in the first sprint and watch those because I had a lot of fun and gave me ideas. And we'll see if I can like organize it and do the tag myself because it seems really fun. But yeah, I'm kind of debating if I want to do a disappointed because I did that last year. And I did like doing it what's nice about it is it gives you like place to vent about books that maybe you need to say goodbye to it one last time and not have to think about it again. But I was also thinking of, because I keep track of my DNFs, I was thinking about just doing like a quick rapid fire video of instead just mentioning all the books I DNF'd for whatever reason.
I had kept better track of that because I actually did DNF a couple this year, but I didn't keep track.
Maybe in 2024 you should, because I was thinking about that back in 2022, and I was like, you know what, I should keep track of these, and that's the only reason why I kept track of them all this year, because I was like, I think I want to know.
Well, my tracker has a place for DNFs, but I just always forget. Like I DNF the book, and then I just move on, and then I go, oh no, you had DNFs this month, Rainy. Like let's
you could log that.
In my readathon, I was like, oh, I should have talked about all of these, but it's everything.
Yeah, that's something I want to do. I got really bad at not doing wrap-ups toward the end of the year. But when I do that, I was starting to add in with my wrap up, here's a couple of books I DNF'd in this month. And then I feel like that can kind of be interesting to show just how your month was. Like, it's like, oh, I didn't DNF any. Awesome. Or, yeah, this was a bad month. I had to DNF a couple, but
yeah.
Hello, ML. Hope you're doing well. How is grading and everything going? I know that you had your finals week earlier than I did. I'm pretty sure because our finals week for our courses are this week, which is kind of weird. It's literally going up until Friday. So some students who have finals on Friday, they then have Christmas if they celebrate on Monday, and it's a huge turnaround. Yeah, it's really for whatever reason our schedules were really late. We're one of the only universities, I swear. Hello, Glenda. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Sadia. We also have more here. Bronwyn's here. Ro is here. So many friends. Thanks, everyone, for showing up on a random Tuesday during the day. I appreciate it. Hello, Megan. Have to take my dog to the vet in a bit, but wanted to hop on and say hi. Thanks, Megan. I hope that the vet ends up going well, that your dog isn't too stressed about it. I know some animals don't like going to the vet, so hopefully it's not a stressful situation for you. Hello, Abrina. Going to read He Who Drowned the World.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that book before. Do you think you have it?
No, I was like, is that a fantasy? I feel like I've heard of that one. I just want to read fantasy so bad. I've gotten so many fantasy romances like gifted to me or like other things the last week. And I'm like, I just want to read you all.
Yeah, you're like, I promise I'm not neglecting you on purpose.
As soon as these romances are over, I'm moving on.
Yeah, and that'll probably be like a breath of fresh air once you read one. You'll be like, something completely new, and it'll be glorious.
I am going to keep on track for next year, which the good news is most of these I'll be caught up in the series. So then I'm like, oh, they come out next year on the romance list. I'll be good to go.
Yeah, especially if you because there is such a consistency of certain authors kind of always making it, so you can kind of be aware of having them on your radar too. So I think that makes sense.
Although I want to read romantasy, but I don't even know that there's so many series I would have to read. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Glenda is currently reading a couple of my holiday books, A Christmas to Remember by Beverly Jenkins and Snow Place Like Home by Lacey Baker. That second title is very cute.
I also wanted to read Christmas Romance, and I was like, is it bad if I read Christmas Romance the week after Christmas and like post it? Is that like going to be a no go? Like,
I don't think so. I think it depends on how you swing it. Like if you kind of say like, hey, for those who don't want Christmas to be over or, whatever. I'm sure there's also New Year's. Have you ever thought of like a few New Year's? Like,
well, there's a couple I wanted to read for Christmas, but it's like, I can only read romance right now. It's like I eat, sleep, and breathe the romance. So I'm just like, I wanted to read a couple of these Christmas ones still, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it out before Christmas.
Yeah, no. I think it's okay if you post it afterwards because I think people still like to see the content, Yeah, so up to you. I know you could always like save it as well. Like maybe do something with it next year or something.
No, I just never get to by the time we get to December, I feel like I'm rushing to read all these books I didn't finish, which there's also so many books that are going with me into the new year unfinished. But I feel like I don't get to Christmas romances because I'm trying to finish all the other books. And I'm like, well, sorry, Christmas, you're never going to get here.
No. And even, you know what? I've been pleasantly surprised because of course I had the goal of, I am finishing a bunch of the soft DNFs that I started back in November. And so I have high hopes that I won't be bringing any of them into the new year with me. But then I'm like, of course, starting other books. And I'm like, what are you doing, Leandra? Like, for instance, what is this one? I was pleasantly surprised. I'm only 20 pages in, but Emily Wilde, Encyclopedia.
I'm reading that sometime next year. For both.
Yeah, but you know what? It's quite wintry because like it starts off, she's like in this really northern place where there's snow and it's like snow fairies or ice fairies or whatever. I'm someone who doesn't really understand fantasy things, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually perfect for wintry season. Like, of course, like I don't have to read it up till Christmas. I can keep going because yeah, I am. But you know what? I'm entering it acknowledging that it's like a cozy time and just. Like it's not going to be action packed. Like there's some humor. Yeah. So
like it's fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not this like epic adventurous fantasy. But I'm enjoying it so far. So, and I don't want to talk too much about it and that's probably why I'm not going to be reading it on these sprints, because I think I'm going to do it for like a video idea that I have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but for now I'm enjoying it. 20 pages in, I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Nice.
So ML grading today, getting closer. 175 assignments left to grade. A third of them are easier to grade exams, and the rest are essays. I think the essays are the worst for me because I just too much to think about. Glenda says, I'm planning on participating on your TBR-thon event next month. Yay! You're going to be doing the TBR game board. What'd you say, Rainy?
Look over that again.
Yes. Yes. See what you want to do. Also, Rainy is going to be joining me on one of my sprints events, which is very exciting. So
get past yours and also talk to people about the one that I do for February.
Yes. Honestly, it's perfect timing too. I think that that's honestly what helped me get the word out about mine, was that I was participating in your readathon for November. And so it gave me like a platform of people already being excited about readathons. So like, yeah, it works. It makes
Let's say if you did the boy band one last year, friends, there's coming back, but it's going to be different.
Ooh, very fit. Gonna be making lunch, then reading. Sounds good, Sadia. More, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a very cozy, fun background. I had too much fun making it. And then I have the other one that's a bit more nighty time. Yeah, so if you can see just the coziness. I made it with Canva. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, it's crazy.
I need to like dabble in that and like make them. Like next year I'm gonna make a specific clue themed one.
Honestly, you can, because it's like all of it is accessible, and like they let you use the art. Even my designs for TBR-a-thon on all of the shirts, all of like the fonts and the graphics I used from Canva. And yeah, it's really nice that they provide that service. So I will say that I have the like the premium membership through my job, and I'm able to use it for other extracurricular things. So just be aware of that.
Well, I have the premium for my Teachers for Teachers business.
Yeah, cool. So hello, Exhausted Flamingo. Thanks for hanging out with us. Megan says he hates the vet, and he's 12 and has some health problems.
Dog like the vet?
What'd you say?
Does any animal like the vet?
I know. You know what it is? I think some dogs do, until they realize what, like they get treats probably.
I get Tranquil. Oh, not my mom's. It's my dog when it's my mom's. Has to get like put down every single time she goes to the vet, or else she'll bite them because she's a pit bull. And so they make her because it's like $1,000 just to knock her out.
Yeah, it's so, and it's like some dogs have such anxiety depending on like what the experiences they've had. Like my family, my parents, they have a dog that has like was rescued and has certain trauma, and so he's reactive depending on like meeting new people. And yeah, they have to like give him those what are they like little treats that have the CBD to like calm him down. Yeah. So I'm sorry that he's nervous about it, and the fact that you're nervous about it because he's a bit older too. That's not fun. Also, I see that my Wi-Fi isn't awesome right now where I am. So if I kind of come in and out, I apologize, everyone. So excited for the TBR-a-thon. Me too, Bethany. Having to find books on my TBR that fit and are available at the library or through other free subscriptions I have. Extra challenge. Yes, I love that. It can definitely be done. Don't forget you've got Hoopla and Libby as well, if you're someone who likes to use those. Yeah, very cool. Hello, friends. Hello, Chrissy. Going to be reading The Winners by Frederick Bachman, and happy to complete another series before the year is over. I was going to say, that's a series, and that's a pretty big book, isn't it? The Winners, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Thomas. Good afternoon to you. Hope you're doing well. Absolutely not. You can do Christmas videos until January 7th, because that's when the 12 days of Christmas ends.
Forget that the 12 days of Christmas starts on Christmas. I always assume it's before, but whatever. I did it before, but that's just whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like mentally where we like 12 days leading up to Christmas or the 12 days after. Yeah. Either way, I think people are into it.
And called it a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people are into it either way. And it's just fun, because the other thing too is I guess it makes sense in a way, but it is kind of funny how we always make content leading up to a holiday or an event, but like not while we're in it. Like for instance, like we read spooky books for content leading up to, say, like Halloween, but then afterwards it's like, oh, but like we have to almost pretend that it's Halloween before it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, read before it's Christmas. And
well, I mean, October is just Halloween in general.
Yes, exactly. That's true. Yeah. But like, for instance, if you were like, oh, I'm going to post a video on like November 1st or November 2nd, you're like, oh, it's over. And it's like, but like,
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I love Shelley Parker Chen's writing. The author of She Who Became the Sun. Okay, and then He Who Drowned. Oh, okay. So it's a sequel. Okay, this connects. Yeah, Chinese history and fantasy retelling. Ooh, 12th Night. So you're having a bit of fun with Shakespeare, or maybe not so much fun. I don't know if it's required reading or not. Starting Bone Shard Daughter today. Saving my Kindle books for bedtime. Reading the hard copy this afternoon. Awesome. That sounds smart. I'll be reading a couple of Christmas ghost stories for my book club meeting tonight. Awesome. I'm going to be doing the short story route as well. I think my first sprint, I'm going to read one of these stories because I think I mapped it out. I've got 6 stories left. So I think I can read like one story a day and then have one on Christmas Day, and then I've completed it. We'll see if I can keep up with that plan, but I'm doing it now.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think so. I started this last weekend with over 300 assignments. So I have been trucking along. Yeah, you have. Oh my gosh. Hello, Bethany. Which TBR-a-thon activity are you doing? That's a good question. I know there are so many. Thank you for outlining it for all of us, Glenda. I appreciate it. And then ML, I loved Emily Wilde. She's such an academic. I honestly, yes, ML, that's part of the reason why I'm really enjoying it. I like love her mind and the way she's like analyzing things. And it's like, I am enjoying these first 20 pages. And then my father, by the way, he says he's at urgent care, but he's not. He's okay. He's just getting having my mom checked out because she's getting some necessary medicine, but everything's all right. That just happens to be the easiest way for us to see a doctor ASAP at this time, rather than trying to set up an appointment with our regular doctor. So anyone who's wondering or worried, we're okay. Yeah. So my parents are just there so that my mom can get some antibiotics. Yeah, which is not fun because here's the time when we're all meant to be like having fun and seeing family and everything. Glenda, I'm doing the trail map. Yes, I support this. I support every single version, so everyone can do whatever they want. A few people are doing like multiple worksheets as well at one time because you kind of can. Like you could always do like the bingo board passively, just see what you hit while you're doing something else.
A yearly January thing.
I think it is. And you know what I think I'm going to do? For those who are here to listen, I'm going to be creating maybe like 5 new worksheets next year, but I'll still have the old ones. So if you wanted to reuse the ones from 2024, you can, or use the other, like kind of just start having an archive where like at one point you can just do whichever one you want and do a new one or an old one. And yeah, I feel like it could be really fun. I just have to come up with other ideas because I feel like I could always remake these maps, but like then, I want to have a different idea. So if anyone has suggestions, yeah, the trail map does sound fun. And the game board too, all of them, super fun. Hello, James. How are you? What are you reading? Oh, you're reading Legends and Lattes today, another cozy fantasy. Still got to figure out which books I'm going to do for the TBR-a-thon. Really excited for it.
I still am sad that I didn't love Legends and Lattes. But
that's okay. Do you know if have you read other cozy fantasies in the past and enjoyed them? Maybe that's a subgenre you're not into.
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think that's my thing, and I need to ignore that, but it's okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because I'm finding out if I'm a cozy fantasy reader because Legends and Lattes is on my list. I was gifted it, which I was very grateful for. And then I have the Emily Wilde, which I argue is cozy fantasy. And then another book that I'm reading this week, Kill the Farm Boy. This one seems cozy and it just being kind of a fun, ridiculous time. Like it's meant to be super funny. Yeah, so we're gonna see if I'm a cozy fantasy person. I feel like on paper I am, so I should really enjoy this. But yeah, James, I hope you enjoy it. It's on my list. catching up on Tale of Genji, reading and getting work done. That's awesome. Also, hello. Woohoo.
I just been in line at the post office for 40 minutes, but
that's not fun.
I was hoping that if I like, I almost went at noon, but I was like, oh, but people are going to be on lunch. It'll be busy. It didn't make a difference. I should have gone at like 9 a.m. this morning, but I wasn't awake.
Yeah. Isn't that annoying? Being like, how dare my sleeping self not do this?
Yeah.
Hello, Rachel. Hope you're doing well. Oh, but also, Margaret, what are you doing? What are you reading? What's going on?
I'm not reading right now. I am going to be sending out Christmas cards for my business. Or I'm going to be updating the address list, so I'm sending out Christmas cards for my business. And then get all that taken care of, and I got to do a few things for the readathon. So reading's not happening. It's fine.
That's okay. You're doing important work. Reading can come later, unfortunately. Moore says, I'll be finishing If You Give a Grump a Holiday Wish List. Then I'll be starting Wreck the Halls. Well, you'll have a lot of people to talk with about it. Yeah, depending on how you feel.
I skipped that just because I just didn't like, I don't know. I heard so many bad things about it. I was like, I'm skipping.
Yeah, I just can't get over the fact that it's not actually a Christmas, book, but it has the name Wreck the Halls. Yeah, I just find that very funny that it's clearly a holiday title. So, anywho, actually, I'm trying to get my book Mistletoe Christmas done before Libby takes it away. I know, and it just disappears. It happens. James is going to be doing the bingo board and game boards. People have been chatting about TBR-a-thon a bit, which I really appreciate. So yeah, James, that sounds awesome and a great combination.
I need to watch that.
Yes, please do at any time. You've got more than enough time though. I'm just too excited already for it. And yeah, thanks ML for the take care wishes. We appreciate that. At this moment, I'm leaning towards the game board. Cool. And you know what? I know it might be cheating, but you can always roll and see what happens with the game board. And if you're like, no, this was a bad idea, choose a different one. You're not set to stone, so don't worry too much about it. If you want to see, I did a video. It's on the playlist, but at the end of the game board one, I actually roll. So people who don't want to, take the time to do it themselves and just want to be told what to do, you can do the rolls I give you, but no pressure. I need to work on my own book worksheet. Ooh, that's something I want to do. I want to have a spreadsheet that has all of the books I own. That seems really overwhelming, and I don't know if I'd ever actually take the time.
I just finished my spreadsheet, but I need to make sure I updated it with the books I just bought. But I do have.
Yeah. See, that would be the thing, is keeping updated with it, which I
feel like I was gonna turn it into a once a week thing. Every certain day week I'll do that.
Yeah, check in, be like, okay, what have I done? What have I changed? So this is James's first cozy fantasy. Okay, so we're both on this journey together as the first triers. I'm enjoying it, but I think I prefer action-packed. Maybe leave the cozy ones as cool down books. Yeah, it could be more so using cozy fantasy at the right time, being after something's been really a really stressful read or something, and then being okay, now I'm gonna chill out. Oh boy, I'm dreading going to the post office. Yes, Margaret was the first to warn us. It
wouldn't have been so bad, except I was stuck between two talkative old ladies, and some of the conversation involved Jesus is the reason for the season. I was just the one in front of me kept coughing, and the one in the back kept groaning. She's it's so hot, all over and over, and I was just oh my God, shut up.
You're we need to get going.
I don't care about your grandkids. Please stop encroaching in my space.
Yeah. Tina, don't apologize for coming late, because you really aren't. We haven't even started to sprint yet.
I literally just got here 5 minutes ago, Tina. You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Margaret just beat you, so you're good. Going to be starting Rusty Murdered Gentleman by Vicky Delaney. So many holiday reads today, which I love. Hello, Pip. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yes, hello to everybody. I love Glenda is the welcoming committee. She's officially our welcoming committee. I love cozy fantasy, even though I also love action-packed fantasy, except not high fantasy. Like Travis Baldry just gives me what I need. Yeah. I feel like I'm really excited because I know, ML, that you really enjoyed Legends and Lattes, and so I'm excited. I think I'm going to also enjoy Legends and Lattes because I don't think we've ever misaligned. Like I think because you also love the Buffy remakes. So I think they're good. Yes, I love putting your videos. You can be so funny.
I'm so glad you think so.
Yes. Yeah, you're like, I'm just not trying to be, just being myself.
I watch my videos back and I'm like, Granny, you're just being so extra. And then, but then someone always calls out the quote and they're like, oh, this is funny. I'm like, okay, well, you're okay with my extraness, so it's fine.
You're like, okay, good, phew. Oh, and then ML says, I love Bookshop and Bone Dust too, just as much. Okay, that's great. So, and I'm going to follow publication order, so I am going to read Legends and Lattes first, and then do the prequel.
Read Bookshop and Bone Dust if I can get it from the library, because I just did not love Legends and Lattes. So I'm like,
Smart.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's like the perfect reason to be like, you know what? I liked this book. It was fine. Didn't love it. So there's no reason to go out and buy the other books. Be like, borrow from the library. Then you're supporting your library, which we love to see. So that's good. So I was thinking we'll do a 60-minute sprint, at least for the first one, just to make us all feel like, okay, we've been productive. Life is good. Yeah. Okay. You. Let's see how this will look. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okie doke. I will see everybody in 60 minutes. Happy productivity and reading. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. That was our first sprint. For those who have just joined, we will be going until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so for 4 hours total. We had Brianna join us. Hello. I hope everyone did well. I ended up getting my one story a day done for this Christmas mystery series, or like anthology. And so now I'll probably be moving on to another book. But Rainey, how did you do?
Well, I didn't read because my husband brought home lunch, but then I also filmed my most disappointing books that needed to go up today. So I need to edit that in the next one.
Awesome.
I also realized I had way more disappointing books than I thought I did. So that was fun.
Oh no!
I guess it's kind of good though, because you forgot.
Well, I know. I was like looking and I was like, wow, there's like 15, 16 books on here. Like, I was like, I just forgot that like there were so many that I was like, oh yeah, these are going to be great. And then I was like, they were
That's why I limit mine to 10.
I know, but it's whatever.
So I don't know if I'm going to do a disappointing or if I'm just going to do the worst books, because I read some absolutely unhinged, stupid, terrible things.
I usually combine both, because that way, if there is a book that is true, so I'm like I tell them they're going to start out with books that disappointed me, and we're going to go to the worst books I've ever read.
Right.
That way I don't have to worry about like hurting as many authors' feelings.
I don't think I have any indie books, at least authors that watch my stuff, that are on my worst, but also I don't care because reviews are for readers.
Well, there's only one or two books in my there's only one or two that I would have been like, yeah, these are also the worst books, but they're more of my disappointing because I was like, I was wanting to love this so much.
Right, yeah. Which just kind of also makes them worse.
Like, I don't know. It's hard because like I want to put Song for the Void might be an honorable mention, because like my thing is it's not a bad book. And if I had gone into it knowing I did go into it knowing it, so I wasn't terribly disappointed. But like to market it as a fantasy is inherently like.
Oh yeah, I should probably add that one to this list. To my list.
Yeah, it's like
he's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Add that.
If you're
looking, actually, I just forgot it was this year.
Yeah, you're looking for historical horror. It's a really well written book. It's got issues. There are some issues that I think he could have done a little bit better.
Well, sometimes white men should not write certain genres.
Sometimes white men should not write in certain time periods without someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. Anyways, or not necessarily, like if he had steered away from like one or two things, it would have been fine. Instead of putting him in there for historical accuracy. However, if he is saying this is a fantasy book, it's not. It's bad. It's not a fantasy book. I'm sorry.
Yeah, anyway. I'm already excited to see everyone's worst and disappointing books. I feel like it always makes me feel better when I'm like, okay, I wasn't the only one who had some kind of bad books or books that I just expected more from. So yeah.
I am going to limit my worst and best to 10, but disappointing and surprising, I'm like, however many it is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Before we arrive, oh my gosh. Anyway, didn't even ask. Margaret, how did you do? I was like,
I made my bed, finally.
Nice.
So you have to understand, my morning was, my alarm went off at 8. I was like, it's too cold to get up. I'm going to just keep sleeping for another hour or so because I don't have to be anywhere today. And then it was noon. So I literally got up and like was like running errands before this, as I have discussed. But I made my bed. I made food. And I started working on getting this something finalized so I can sit down and film what I need to film for ERAS. Because I should probably, Christmas cards, as long as they're out by tomorrow, I should be fine. But I do only have so much daylight. And it's been a couple of, like I skipped one day because my skin was absolutely wrecked. And then yesterday I was like, oh yeah, we still got plenty of daylight. And then I looked up and there was none. So.
Yeah, the nighttime just kind of shocks you.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bree, what are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm working, So that's fun.
We won't tell
Yay.
anyone.
I was like working from home today because we were supposed to get our dryer, and
No.
they pull it out, they take it out of the box, and they're like, it's damaged. And I was like, are you
No.
kidding
Why
me?
is this saga continuing? Oh my gosh.
No. So they took it back to the warehouse, and then like they called, and I was like, okay, well, like I need a dryer. Like, can you like, is there something else? Like, I don't know. It's a whole thing. And so then they unboxed it like fully, and they're like, honestly, the damage is just like it's just dented a little bit in the back, and it's not gonna like affect the dryer. So they're like, we'll give you like $500 off, and we'll just bring it back.
Nice.
And I was like, fine. Like,
Perfect.
at this point, I just need to do laundry.
I mean, if it's
Yeah.
cosmetic damage, it's not going to affect the working of the dryer.
No. And I'm like, it's gonna go into a closet. You're not even gonna see the side of it. So like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I worked from home for no reason today.
Yay.
working
Love
from
when
home
you
is nice.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Is your work going to be able to work with you considering that it's getting delivered tomorrow?
Derek can work from home tomorrow.
Okay.
Good. Mhm. Well, Abrina, before we went off on a sprint, had just mentioned I need to read Bookshops and Bone Dust because we were talking about the Travis Baldry's books. And
I didn't like that one very much.
you didn't compare to, is it like
I
Legends and
liked
Lattes?
Legends and Lattes. I didn't like Bookshops and Bone Dust. I thought it was like they should have done Bookshops and Bone Dust is book 1 and Legends and Lattes is book 2. But to call it a prequel feels like, you know, when you watch Rogue One and you see the ending of it and you're like, well, the Death Star is gonna blow up, so y'all are screwed. You already know how, like, because it's like 15 years or something. I can't remember how long. It's like several years prior. So like you already know where she ends up and you know her journey. So there's just, like no stakes.
Mm-hmm. It also feels it does feel weird because when I first saw Bookshops and Bone Dust, I was like, oh cool, a sequel's out, and they're like, no, it's a prequel, and I was like, but there's only one book out already. It feels weird to have a prequel after there only being one book out.
I mean, prior
put out Bookshops first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Bookshops came out because people asked for it, didn't they? Like they wanted to know what the adventures were like.
Probably. But I feel like it did it a disservice.
But didn't Prior do the same thing? Isn't that giant book a prequel to that?
Yeah, but that one's like actually that's 1,000 years prior. That one, like Day of Fallen Night feels more like, you know, the prequel that Game of Thrones did. I can't remember what it's called. But
House of the Dragon.
Yeah. That's what Day of Fallen Night it feels like, because it's very like it's so separated. It's not the same characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And then James had asked before the sprint, like how long we were going. 4 hours. So depending on how long we've been going so far, we'll be going for an hour and a half. We'll be going for another 2.5 hours. And then we had people's results, how they did. Bethany got 25-ish pages into Bone Shard Daughter, 2 chapters, and it's time for my afternoon walk to pre-K pickup. Awesome. They get to go outside a little bit, have a break. Love it. Hello, Allie. Hanging out for the next 20 minutes or so until the kiddos' bus gets here. Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out with us for just a bit. More finished if you give a Grump a holiday wish list. 5 stars. Now I think I'll take a nap and then start Wreck the Halls. Sounds good. Yeah. Take a nap, mentally prepare yourself. And I think from what you've heard about Wreck the Halls, you kind of know how to mentally prepare for that. Like, you know what you're getting into. Tina read 8%, accidentally opened a Christmas, I'm assuming a Christmas message. Yeah, because I thought it was something I was allowed to look at and watch. Oh, no, that's okay, though. You can still be excited about it, but that is too bad. Hello, Hazelnut, aka Nicole. Hope you're doing well. ML graded 23 exams.
23 exams!
That's impressive.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I have 10 left in the stack. Awesome. I hope that you found a few that you're impressed with and you're like, these students, they give me life. After that 10, I will have finished 1 more class. That will be 2 classes of 5. Oh my goodness, the full-time professor life. I didn't read in that first sprint. That's okay, Glenda. I was doing my TBR-thon board game, organizing my TBR for next month. Woohoo!
Nice.
I need to do that at some point. Not today.
Yeah, listen, you've recorded, you're editing, you have so many other things you're already doing. On top of the fact that you have to be reading those romance books, Rainy. So.
I'm so close. 5.
You're like, mistakes were made.
Yep.
It's fine. I'm finally reading the actual 5 that are on the list. Okay, so there's progress made. There's progress.
Yes. Yeah, and so I hope you had some good rolls, Glenda. I hope that you're excited about it. Lunch and second story in my anthology done. Awesome. Woohoo, I'm reading an anthology as well. Rachel's reading Hazelnuts. Oh, yes. Hello to Bree. 75 pages. Oh my gosh. Only about 30 pages left of my book. And then there's a short story at the end. I'm going to read too. I always think it's so interesting when you like read a novel and then they might tack on, a short story or two by the author. It's always so funny. I feel like I need a nap. Yes, I know. You're living up to your name. That is very true, Margaret. I have somehow managed to lose my bookmark. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. And then you just have a scrap of paper or something, or I'll shove like a pen in there and just.
Or you just don't put one in because Rainy's lazy.
Oh my gosh, you're just like, I'll figure it out. You just shut the book.
I'm actually very good at remembering what page I'm on. But
yeah, I was gonna say I'm very good at remembering my page when I'm physically reading the book.
Yeah, but also I on Goodreads, like I just track it. So then if I really forgot, I'll go to Goodreads and be like, okay, this is the page I left off.
I haven't updated my Goodreads since August, so I cannot say the same.
I know I'm slowly chipping away at like the backlog of reviews and star ratings because I want to have it all at least logged.
I'm so behind on reviews.
So bad. Wait, I missed that. What is not a fantasy book?
Song for the Void by, I believe it is Andrew Piazza. I don't know if you've watched my video where I was reading all of the SPIFFO finalists back in July, August, something like that. It was before the Amazing Readathon, right, Brianna? I think it was. Yeah, something like that. I ended up reading 6 of the 10 SPIFFO finalists for SPIFFO 8 as part of a collab that I was doing, and I read Song for the Void as a part of that. And there's a good chunk about it in that video. So I don't know if you've seen it, but that's the one that I'm talking about.
Hello, Sarah. Thanks for hanging out. You're hoping to finish Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade today.
That one.
It is Brie approved. We love to hear that. No steaks, missed steaks, medium rare steaks. I didn't mind that at all. I liked seeing the Viv still warrior, but also still so kind and sapphic too.
Warrior thing, like that little short story that was at the end of the Legends of Lattes, I was like, I could not care less about this.
Oh no!
I should not read bookshops and books.
Yeah. Read 49 pages of He Who Drowned the World. Oh my goodness, so much productivity. Oh, I still need to come up with my TBR for the TBR-a-thon. Yes, I fully support that. I gave A Day of Fallen Night 5 stars. It's better than Priory. And then on the people who are on the panel, I think no one's read both, right? It's only been like one or the other.
I have not read either.
Yeah. Okay, so our only spokesperson is Brie because I haven't read them either.
I like it though.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Leandra book.
I don't think so either. If we're gonna be honest, I'm like, no. Non-animals harmed in the making of steaks. Oh, good. No animals harmed. They're talking about the TBR-a-thon. Love to see it. As long as I check the page number before I stop, I'm able to remember where I was, but I prefer using bookmarks. Yeah. Usually unless I don't know, things are happening, I usually find myself stopping at a chapter mark, and then I think I can remember that, being like, okay, I ended at this chapter. So I don't tend to like stop in the middle of chapters unless I have to.
I like bookmarks because they're pretty.
They are very pretty. I agree. I'll never say no to a bookmark. Nope. I started the Christmas.
I said no to a few because they're ugly.
Yeah, only the pretty ones.
Cute bookmarks are fun.
We'll knit a few rounds on my sock during the talking sections. Awesome. Sounds good. Also, thanks for hanging out with us.
Although I think I did just order bookmarks from Gigi and Bo, so they should be getting here soon. So then I will use those bookmarks.
Nice.
Ooh, yes. The one I have right now, I'm reading a Christmas related book, but the bookmark I have is like Halloween, and I'm going with it. It's fine. I don't think my Sears care that tell them they're gonna taste. Oh my gosh, be tasty someday. They just want the hugs and bananas I brought. Hello, Christina. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hello, Michaela. I know you are having a rough day. Someone hacked. Oh my gosh. So I've been on the phone with the bank all day. That is
I hate that.
frustrating.
Why would someone charge $300 on Uber Eats?
Yeah,
I've
what are they?
had
What did they
people do
order?
that. In fact, that's why I lost my Scrib account. When I lost my Scrib account was because somebody in Virginia charged pizza to my card, and so they sent me a new. They like canceled that card. Like my bank caught it, but they canceled that card and sent me a new one, and I forgot to change it before Scrib got a hold of it, and then Scrib decided that since my card had been stolen, I was the one that was at fault.
Yeah. You know what? With Uber Eats, that means you have their address, right? Like, because they had food delivered to their location, potentially.
Uber would, but I don't think that would show up on your bank statement.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on your bank statement, but you can, when you file the report to being like, hey, you can be like, here's their location. Go get them.
Yeah.
What is something of something?
The Priory one.
Day of Fallen Night.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I know that this is the format for so many books, but I cannot put the words. Okay. So the Priory prequel is a hefty book. I started in January and I'm still not done with it. Oh my gosh. Even with the audiobook, I doubt I'll pick up her. Yeah. It
was like a 38-hour audiobook.
Yeah, I'm really intimidated by super chunky books, especially chunky books that are outside of my own like comfort genre. And that is one that is outside of, I want to get more into that genre this year, but I don't think that's the place for me to start. That is for sure. Oh my gosh. Maybe. Oh no. Apparently Michaela was also the one who was dealing with a flooded basement yesterday.
Oh no.
Michaela, we need to send you some like good karma and good positivity. What the heck is happening? Yeah, the universe is testing you. I don't know how my bank didn't catch it, but yeah, that is so frustrating. I hope their food was cold. Me too.
It really depends because if they were in your area and they ordered it, your bank may not have caught it. The reason my bank caught it, because it's happened a couple of times. One time it was because it was someone else's cable bill. Again, both times it was out of state. So both times, like my bank caught it.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah, Rachel, I am planning a road trip of vengeance. If I was more tech savvy, you wouldn't want me to be tech savvy. I feel like I'd be like a vigilante on the web trying to like catch hackers and everything.
I mean, as a Swiftie, this being an ERAS, there is a reason that we are very lucky Taylor Swift uses her powers for good and not to stalk. She would be a very good stalker.
She'd be a very good supervillain. I'm a slowish reader, and I took a massive reading break in the middle of the year for writing event. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And that is a huge book to tackle. I think the last huge book, like huge that I read was like The Stand by Stephen King, and that one's like 1,200 pages. Yeah, that took me 6 months. Like that was a long time, and I feel like that's probably among the reasons why I haven't read chunky books really since. Yeah, so Bethany read both, but Wheel of Time prepared me for that kind of reading. Yes, that makes sense. Speaking of, I know that Brittany is planning like a read along on her channel. Yeah, to start Wheel of Time, because she's like, I finally need to actually, because apparently she's been collecting them, and so if anyone's interested in starting that,
yeah, book one right there.
Well, maybe Margaret.
I specifically got book one in hardcover because I knew I wanted to like be able to take notes as I read it for this, because I've read it already once, but I tuned out, I think, for like 20 to 30 minutes. not sure how that happened, but I just was like, oh, we are.
Something is happening.
But we were, and now we're. Okay, I was like 19 hours, or no, I was like 90% of the way done, and I was like, we're just gonna, there's 30 minutes left of this book. I'm just gonna go read it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Zach got through Fallen Knight in 6 days. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I read it in like 2.5 days because I had to.
Yeah, you were on the timeline.
Yeah, like it was like I think I got to work one day and I was like, okay, I have 7.5 hours left of this audiobook. I'm just gonna leave it in all day and just go.
Yeah.
Which is also probably why I didn't like it as much.
Yeah, that's
like,
the
like,
good point.
Some books, if you're able to digest them and like take your time with them, they do tend to be like better because you don't get so, especially when you're dealing with a fantasy book.
Yeah.
It's that thick. If you're not vibing with the writing, but you're still enjoying the story or the characters, or like if you're not vibing with one part of it, but you're still enjoying the rest of it, like that one part just keeps getting reinforced in your brain.
Right. Whereas because I was on a time crunch, I felt like the whole book was just wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, like, books like that, when an author writes it, I think we all can kind of understand that they don't have the intention of being like, I'm going to write this book and expect people to read it in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Well, my argument for it was that I think it should have been, because there were so many characters, and Priory has the same problem. There's so many characters in it that had you have made a trilogy of that story, you could have actually spent more time with each character. But the narration feels so over the top and like big picture that I just didn't care.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But had it have been a trilogy and we're like, okay, we're gonna focus on these 2 characters, and then in this book we focus on these 2 characters, then like I probably would have liked it more.
Yeah, that's how I tried. What was it? This one was historical fiction, and I thought it was supposed to be kind of magical realism. I thought there was going to be more kind of fantastical elements to it, and it just ended up mainly being straight historical fiction. It was like The Eighth Life, and I think that one's like 900 and something pages, and I was like, why did this have to all be one book? I was like, this could have been 300 pages dedicated to one, because it was like a different generation, like every 300 pages, and I was like, couldn't you have just done, like, because I know there are series like that, like the Neapolitan novels by Elena Ferrante, like that's historical fiction and it's a series. So I'm like, why can't you just break this book up into like 3?
Why not just do 3 different points of view throughout the whole book in 3 different timelines?
That's literally what I was thinking. I was like, why am I only being forced to count this as one book when I feel like I'm reading more? And it was broken into books too. The sections were called book 1. And I was like, you have created books. You've done this. What are you doing? And just, anyway, I was like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, Hazelnut, 1,200 pages. I will say the stand that I read was like the uncut version. So there was like a lot, like if you get the original copy, I think it's much less. But yeah, they made him cut like some potentially like 300 or something kind of pages, and I, for whatever reason, bought the uncut version, and that's how my life was. I did like it though. I thought it was interesting. I'll be rereading Wheel of Time with her. Oh, awesome, Bethany! I got through the whole series for the first time this year after a 15-year pause, and I want to read it again. Yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of get right back into it and see how it all started. Me hiding my fantasy romance that was sitting at 910 pages. Rachel.
It's too long. I mean,
yeah, holy moly.
Well, though, like I totally understand the reason why, especially if you're publishing on KU, because you get paid per page turn.
Yeah.
And that's why KU books are longer.
I can see a fantasy romance being, depending on the book and the story and the stakes, being 900 pages. Especially if you're trying to get the fantasy, give equal amounts to the fantasy world building part as to the romance.
Correct.
Whether or not you do it well, that's another story. But like I can see anything with the word fantasy in it for an adult audience, like YA in middle grade, that's a whole other conversation. But for an adult, I can see them pushing 1,000 depending on what's going on, especially if it's like an epic fantasy romance.
Yeah. Rachel has said, I don't have it on KU. I just refuse to make it a series.
That's fair.
Yeah. As an author,
because like sometimes when you're writing a book, like some stories, like they have a defining, this is a good place to end a book, but some just don't. And so then you're just like, well, Here's 900 pages.
We're just gonna continue. Yeah. ML tried to find a punny way to mix eras and clicking the like button, but failed.
Don't
But if
forget to
anyone
click the
wants
like
it,
button before you get in the getaway car.
I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, your getaway car and like the.
yes. Love it. And also, yeah, thanks. Make sure to give it a like. And also, if you have no idea what the ERAS Readathon is, go check out Margaret's channel for the announcement video. Yeah. So let's do another 60 minutes. That means people can get productivity done. Brianna can go and do work things. We're supporting you doing work free, so you can do that. Yeah, I think that works for everybody. So let's, should I do this one? Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay. Happy sprinting, everybody. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had an eventful sprint or a non-eventful sprint if you didn't want that. I ended up eating, and then I updated my bullet journal a bit, and I started Kill the Farm Boy. This is by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn.
That's a title.
It is. Isn't it a title? Who was it? Brittany, she was showing that she picked it up because she and I are doing a buddy read together for it. And she did it in a reel. And I just commented, "Kill the farm boy." And I think it was Katie from I Would Rather Be Reading. She's like, without context, I had no idea what you were saying. And I was wondering why you wanted him dead. Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, it's quite funny. I'm only about 10 pages in. But I am finding it very humorous because it's obviously making fun of kind of fairy tale, like in a faraway kingdom, and just making jokes and everything. And yeah, so I'm finding it a very good time. But Bree, how did you do?
Well, I am reviewing a contract this afternoon, so that's how boring that was. And because it's like a legal document, I like couldn't even listen to an audiobook because I had to like fully focus on it.
Yeah,
so that's what I did for like 40 minutes, and then I like started editing a little bit just to give my brain a break.
Yeah, sounds good. Sometimes we have to do the less fun types of reading. Yeah. Rainey, how did you do?
Well, I edited and uploaded the video, so it's like 85% uploaded, so it'll be up soon.
Woohoo!
And then I read another 12% of King of Wrath, so I'm 86% in. I'm loving this. I like it way better than the Twisted series, but I've only read book 1, so I know I probably will like the Twisted series, but I really, really like this one.
Yay, that's great. And then Margaret, how did you do?
I'm almost done with the stupid list that I'm needing to make to film. So I'm thinking I might just film since we got like a week left. I'm like, I probably have enough, don't I? That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good. Yeah. Let's see where we were in the comments. I know that as we were leaving, a few people had kind of mentioned a few things. Zach, for instance, said, "My longest audiobook is The Vampire Archives, 81," but then he corrected himself and saying it was actually only 61 hours, which is still a lot.
I mean, either way, that's like some Les Miserables territory.
Yeah, that's like multiple full days if you were to just like live your life doing that.
That's 3 days.
Yeah, apparently it's like 300-ish years of covering like many stories. That kind of makes sense. And then Amal joined. Hello. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Reading the Inheritance Games for the Reputation playlist. Let the games begin prompt. Cool. Nice. Love to see it. Meanwhile, people were like, "Really? Only? Like that's crazy. Like that's a lot." But it is almost less than a day. Yeah, a day less than it was before. And then Vanessa did hop in, which was so nice of her. Yeah, she says hi to all of you. She made sure to include that as a comment. So that was really nice of her. Also, Jennifer joined. Hello, Jennifer. Thanks for hanging out with us. What were you able to get done? I know you kind of joined maybe about half an hour ago, so maybe you got some things done. Amal had said reading Free Fall by Fern Michaels instead. Okay. So switch it up. Instead of Inheritance Games, it's on hold, and it takes ages at my library to release that hold. Yeah, that is, and it always ends up coming at the wrong time where you're like, no, I don't have the right time for me to read this. I actually don't want it anymore. And you're like, great.
I read Trial of the Sun Queen for that one.
Very nice. Cool. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
It was 3 stars.
Okay. So
it was
fine.
Like it's a popcorn read. Like it's not well written, but it was fun.
Yeah, and if that's what you're looking for, sometimes that's perfect. You're like, I don't need an amazing.
Like I read it like all day Sunday, most of the day Sunday, and it was like cold and snowy, and so I just like sat down and like read all day.
I feel like if I was an author, that would be the worst thing to me. I would rather have everyone be like, my book is fabulous or my book sucks, but like my book is like just in the middle, like, it's all right. It's like I'd be like, oh. That kills me.
Like I'm gonna continue the series. I like the
Mhm.
first part of. I like the first half of it better.
Mhm.
The second half just kind of like went off the rails.
Right, go.
Okay. But it's kind of nice to know that, like, maybe especially if it's the beginning of a series, maybe the authors just getting going. It can get
And
better.
it's her debut too, so like
Mhm.
writing will improve.
Yeah, 100%. James read 53 pages, and then my sister called me with 20 minutes to go to tell me she's pregnant. Oh my goodness.
Congratulations to her.
Nice.
Yeah. That's so exciting, especially if it's like whether it's planned, a surprise, if that's exactly like what everyone wants. That's amazing. That's great. And definitely worth stopping you, even though you still already read 53 pages. Like, you were still productive even when you were given such fun news. 15 pages and scheduled an urgent care appointment for my son and miscellaneous parenting for this sprint. Sometimes that's the way it's got to be. And especially like when you're trying to set up appointments, like it sounds like it's a scary term, especially for those who don't really like know, but urgent care is just for you to be able to go see an immediate doctor. And it's just, yeah, but I hope everything's all right with your son. That's not fun. Megan's back. Oh, Hank. I love that your dog's name is Hank. Vet appointment went better than expected. They think he might have doggy dementia though. Oh my goodness. We all, yeah, that's so sad. But you know what? I'm glad that he's like in good health beyond that. Finished the main part of Legends and Lattes. I enjoyed it. Don't know if I'd ever reread it. 3.5 stars. Okay, sounds good, James.
That's exactly how I felt about that book.
Yeah, which is nice to know that some people feel that way, and it's just like, yeah, like that book. A book doesn't have to be everyone's like 5-star amazing read experience. Joined last sprint. Hello, Steph. Thanks for joining. I finished cleaning the kitchen, doing dishes, and folding laundry. I also watched a BookTube video. Awesome. That reminds me, I need to spend some quality time with BookTube so I can watch and like see what everyone's been up to. Sadia read a few chapters in an arc. Very nice. That also reminds me, I have arcs that I need to be prioritizing. I'm trying to get better at that in 2024. It's not 2024 yet, but my mind's already there. And I'm like, what can I do better? Yeah. I'm not sure how much reading I will get done tonight before I leave for a college basketball game. Well, yeah, I know, especially when you have an event that you're planning to go to. It's kind of hard to like settle down and do anything productive before you go to that event. So I get it. I hope you have a lot of fun though. And then we will only be going for another hour before Brittany's Sprint Miss events, which I'll make sure to put a link there so that people know what's going on. Thank you. It's a surprise, but a good surprise. That's so fun. And it's her second child. I love that. That's so cool. I bet depending on how old her first child is, I wonder if they can process it and if they're excited, or if they're among those who say, I don't need a sibling, and they don't realize how fun it's going to be. All right. So we ended up reaching the end of the comments already, which is nice because, yeah, it gives us time to like do another decently solid sprint. Because I was like, ooh, if we talk for too long, then we'll have to do a baby sprint. But I think that we'll be able to do maybe like 45 minutes, chat for like 15, and then send everyone on to Brittany's. But Megan says, thank you. I'm going to continue reading The Honeymooners. Great. Sounds awesome. And then Levi is currently 3. That's a cute name. But she's
disappear because Lincoln decided to throw one of my nice necklaces. He grabbed it off the table and threw it in the creek or the crack between the wall and the bookshelf. So now I have to use the bookshelf to get the necklace.
Oh my gosh.
He ran away.
It's a bookshelf that I'm sure has all books on it, so it's heavy and just.
He ran away because he knew I was going to spank him. So.
Oh my god. Of course, never. It was too quiet, right? It's like there hasn't been enough chaos today.
And I didn't pay attention because we were talking, and then like I was like, wait a minute, my necklace isn't there, and I go, where's it? And he goes, you're gonna be mad at me. And I go, where is it? And he goes, nowhere. And I was like, Lincoln. And he was like, well, I'm only gonna tell you if you're not gonna be mad at me. And I'm like, no, Lincoln, I'm mad at you. Tell me where it is. And then he finally goes, right there. And I'm like, really? And he's like, you said you wouldn't be mad. I'm like, no, I didn't.
And I'm not bargaining with you.
I'm like,
Oh no. Yeah. Meanwhile, now James's sister can look forward to the chaos of 2 children. So yeah, this is what you have to look forward to. I love that she was the first person you told, and then you told us on the internet. So now we all also know. Yeah, tell her that we all say congratulations. She said I can tell people she and family don't know. Okay, perfect, good. Yes, we're strangers, so it's safe with us. I almost missed the chatty bit. Yes, you almost missed it, but we're going to be here for another minute, and then we can jump into sprints because my spouse was telling me some work drama. Yes, make coffee for the drama because you want to sit down and listen to everything. Hope everyone is well. Missed the start. Totally fine, Christina. Trying to be productive today and not doing very well so far. Sharing some Christmas cheer with the like button. We appreciate that. And also, Christina, don't worry. After my sprints, I'm sure you already know, but with sprint and miss events, there will be sprints all day. But I finished those exams and entered their grades. Good job, ML. I love it. That is such a successful feeling. Congratulations to her. I know. My son was a surprise, and I'm glad he made my daughter a big sister. He's got some nasty respiratory infection, so that's why we're going to urgent care. Yes, better to check it out, get the meds, and just have everything taken care of. Yes, definitely let her know. Going to try to write up 2 incomplete grade contracts in the next sprint so I can enter the second classes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a request for someone who is filing for an incomplete, and I've got to look at their records and everything before I can move forward with it, but it's not fun. My last comment was for James, but I ran out of that's okay. So totally fine. All right. So let's get into a 45-minute sprint and
just because I gotta get ready for circus, and I was gonna hit up the bookstore right down the road from it because my friend got me a gift card.
I fully support that. Yes, that is worth heading out early for sure. Both of those things are. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, Rainey.
Later.
And then there were 3. Okay, let's do this one so we can see the window this time. I will see everybody in 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back from our final sprint. I guess I should have mentioned that, but we knew that we were only going for 4 hours. So I hope this wasn't a surprise to anyone. But don't worry. Feel free to let us know in the comments how you did. But we will be going right over to Sprint Miss Day 3, if my mind is correct, as far as Brittany's sprint. So we'll just be finishing, especially because because Bree, she is, I'm pretty sure you're a guest over at Brittany's anyway. So
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we'll finish up pretty quick. If any comments even come in, I ended up getting distracted. I sent a voice message to Brittany, speaking of, to kind of like let her know what my reaction to the first 2 chapters were, and then I just somehow time went by. I don't know what I did. I was trying to, we were talking about catching up with our Goodreads, and so I put up my Goodreads and my story graph, and I'm positioning myself in knowing how many books I am behind as far as trying to catch up with my star ratings. And so that's what I did. And so I think for the rest of the evening, partially, I'm going to be trying to catch up with that. Yeah, so we'll see when you get back, unless you are still dealing with dog chat.
They're loud.
It's okay. Yeah, they're dogs, right?
They can hear the gate open, and so then when Derek comes in, I'm like, oh, well, it's going to be loud for a second.
Yep, that's totally fine. How did you end up doing? Did you get some more work done?
Well, I just needed to like finalize my day, wrap everything up, get everything set for tomorrow's meetings. And then I finished editing my goals video.
Nice.
So
Woohoo.
that'll go up whenever my internet decides it wants to upload it.
Yeah, it's like we're on the fate of internet and Wi-Fi and yeah. But now everyone in the comments knows to anticipate that.
Yes.
Speaking of, though, as far as reflections on the year, I did see that Rainey was able to post her most disappointing reads. So maybe you can watch that while you all are waiting. And maybe in the meantime, eventually, you can watch Bree's goals after watching Rainey discuss how sad reads were. It's fine. It'll be a pick-me-up to hear your goals after her. Exactly.
I think it's funny, just like a little spoiler for that video, because I did a little clip of my 2023 video where I legitimately said, I don't think I have the creative mindset to be able to create my own readathon.
And you're like, well.
And then I was like, I just created the most chaotic readathon on the internet.
Yes. You're like, I decided to completely correct myself and prove myself wrong.
Amazing. It's amazing what happens.
Yeah, and it's honestly, you're already planning for next year too. So you're like, I'm going to continue to prove my earlier 2023 self wrong. Maggie got 9% of the way through the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. I've been meaning to try that book. That looks very fun. The cover is very pretty. I think that's really beautiful. Margaret, hello, welcome back. How did you do?
I got a little distracted. Someone's having a tantrum on Twitter because I pointed out that being a gay, like the term gaylor doesn't refer to gay fans, which they know. So it's really weak. Like it's misleading to act like when people say they're anti-gaylor, that they're anti-gay fans. I'm like, most of my gay friends are anti-gaylor that I know in the Twitter fandom.
Yeah, well, that doesn't sound like the most fun sprint ever. Hopefully other people...
No, it wasn't, because they're just, like, they're throwing it, and this is, like, the 3rd or 4th time that this person that I've, like, has tweeted something and then gotten just the most moderate amount of pushback against it and thrown a fit.
Oh my gosh, not fun.
And then they're one of those people that when you push back and they get upset and they then go, oh, well, I have autism. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I have friends that do not behave this way. So bye.
Yeah. ML wrote up the incomplete grade contracts. They really do take so much time. I'm not looking forward to it because I think I'm going to end up approving it. It's fine. This is my own situation as well. But I'm about to submit these grades. Woohoo! 3 classes left. You're almost halfway. We're going to be over halfway once you get that third class done. I went to the grocery store and read 10 pages. 38 pages done. Finished the short story and read 14 pages of Bookshops and Bone Dust. Awesome, James. 3 days left to do it. Oh, ML, it's like a class a day. I'm so sorry. I hope you can survive it. 23 more pages of Bone Shard. So 63 pages in total, getting to know the characters. So that's awesome. Bethany, woohoo. That's great. Some great progress today. The short story was wholly unnecessary. Oh, no. Okay. I'm sorry, James. That stinks. But I'm going to bed now because it's almost 11 p.m. Oh, I'm sure you must be in Europe. Okay, that makes sense. Yes. Farewell. Thanks for hanging out, Zach. Gonna use Sprint Mist to get dinner cooked while my son is at urgent care with my husband. And then I'll read as much as my daughter allows, but really most reading will be after bedtime. Yeah, that sounds about right. Finished another chapter and put a lasagna in the oven. Awesome. Well, that is the end of the comments, and that's the end of these sprints. Unfortunately, Bree was busy working all day, and Margaret ended her sprints with a Twitter argument, which isn't fun. But I think you both.
I'll read in the next two in Sprintmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm playing. I should probably check the Discord and make sure that we're still doing D&D tonight.
Yes, and honestly, everyone else in the comments, you will be seeing Bree in Sprintmas. I did include it here. You might have to scroll up a little bit, but I include the link. So, or you can just look up Brittany. Brittany Loves Reading, and you'll see that, and you'll be seeing Bree very soon. Hope everyone has a great day. If whether you go over to Sprintmas or not, if you do, I'll see you in the comments. But yeah, also, yeah, thanks Bree and Margaret for being here. It was great. Yeah.
Thank you for hosting.
Of course. Yes, I was happy to do so. And it helped me be slightly productive today. I'll end the sprint here. So then Bree can kind of head over there. But okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.